Boom, boom, bam. Welcome back to another edition of the Great Debate Show. And I'm one half of your host, the good guys, one half of the good guys. They call me JJ, and I got something to say. And what is that I have to say? I want to talk about this weekend, these weekend past events, the things that have happened that have took place. We had OKC in Minnesota on Saturday night, and we had the Knicks and the Pacers on Sunday night. And the Timberwolves got their first win in that series at home, still down 2-1, but they won. And uh, they really won in great fashion. They whooped OKC's butt. And then you had the Knicks, who somehow survived last night, coming back from 20 once again in the postseason and overcoming another 20-point deficit. And they get the win to avoid an 0-3 deficit in the Eastern Conference Finals, thanks to the man that we worry about the most. I think that most Knicks fans also worry about the most because they don't know what to expect from him. And that man is Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns had 4 points in the first 3 quarters of last night's Eastern Conference Finals, and then he went off with a 20-point fourth quarter. That 20-point fourth quarter got the Knicks the comeback win. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 20 of them in the fourth, as the Knicks get the 106-100 win over the Indiana Pacers. Did the Pacers lose that game, or did the Knicks win that game? It was pretty impressive. It was entertaining. I thought that the Knicks would win game 3. They're a better team on the road. I've been saying that every time I give the Pacers their respect that they definitely do deserve. I'll make sure that I explain on how the Knicks are much better on the road than they are at home. And well, here they are. They're playing and they're away from home now. And when they get away from home, they just seem to be the better team. And speaking of the New York Knicks being a better team on the road, here's a New York Knicks fan right here. That's Terrence. What's up, man?
Also on the road.
Also on the road. Really?
I'm joking.
Oh,
Right.
okay. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm better.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I
better.
hear you.
It's been
I
a
hear you,
long
man.
weekend.
Been a long weekend. Been a long weekend.
No lie. Friday night, I literally took my New York Knicks hat off and I frisbeed it in the trash.
mm, I understand, T. I
And
understand.
and and halftime yesterday, I wanted to
Yep.
go take it out of the trash just to light it on fire and throw it back in the trash.
Ah, man. I
And
understand,
it,
man.
it's just it's frustrating because like if a team is better than you, tip your cap, keep moving.
Yeah.
If Indiana is better, they're not 2 games on the road better.
You're freezing up just a bit too, just to let you know.
Uh-oh.
FYI.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're freezing up just a bit, just a
Uh-oh.
bit.
Should
We
have a good
want we
Wi-Fi
want to hear
connection.
this take. We want to hear this take about your
Right.
Knicks and what's going on with them, what happened. They were almost out for the count.
They were
Oh,
dead. No,
three
they were dead.
deficit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Is
looked
it
like
better
they were
now?
dead. That well, your audio sounds fine, but your visual, you're still pretty froze. I think maybe are you moving now? No, I don't. Nah.
Don't see anything?
I see you, but like I still don't think you're quite with us 100% yet. You're freezing up a
Okay.
lot there. That may
All
be
right, hold
better.
on.
That may be nah, I think it's still doing it. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Great Debate Show. We're here to talk about the Pacers and the Knicks last night. Knick fan right here trying to get his situation better so we can see and hear everything that he has to say about his Knicks. He said he took the hat off Friday night, threw it in the trash can.
Is it
Got the
is
hat.
that
Let's
uh,
see here. Um, are you still have your thumbs up?
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we're good then. I
Okay.
think we are. Yeah, I think we are.
So but yeah, man, up until halftime yesterday, I was done. I don't know if you saw my tweet. I called them the stupidest team I've ever seen in the conference finals. And I stand by that still. I've never seen a team with such low IQ this far in the playoffs. It's really remarkable. If they just cleaned up some of the dumb plays they make, the dumb fouls. Cat and Bronson both have just some of the dumbest fouls. Quit falling for pump fakes. Quit trying to body people up. Like, just play defense.
Yeah.
You know, Cat has Halliburton on him in the post, and instead of him just backing him down and dunking it, he's got a hook and gets called for an offensive foul. Like, it's just dumb plays, just low IQ plays. I think it's a reflection of the team. It's a reflection of the coach. Um, they might get game 4 in Indiana, but the thing about it is Rick Carlisle is on the other bench, and that team is automatically going to be more prepared because of Rick Carlisle. And that's Jarvis. That's the series. It ain't even about this player or that player. I mean, Siakam is tough, but
Yeah.
the basis of the series is just one team is playing smarter than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right too. The coaching, which is always something that we question when it comes to Thibodeau and some series against
Yeah,
some
and we've never
coaches.
and we've never questioned Rick Carlisle. That man is a genius.
He is. He's pretty damn good. And I think we kind of forgot that he was the head coach of the Pacers. And I started to remind people that last week. And I was like, hey, y'all, look, Rick Carlisle is a guy who deserves a lot more respect than what he's been given here. This is a
Yeah,
championship coach. I know it's been a while, but he was a championship coach. Once again, of a team that nobody gave a chance to get to the finals or even, let alone win the finals. And
yeah.
that Dallas Maverick team in 2011 beat the Miami Heatles. And like they weren't projected to
Not
do
only
that,
that,
at
they
all.
beat Durant. They swept Kobe and Lamar Odom and Powell. Those guys had just come off a championship, and the Mavericks swept them. So you got
They
to give
sure did.
Carlisle some credit, man. That man is in the Hall of Fame right today, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. But somehow your Knicks still got lucky, regardless of the coaching or the lack thereof with your Knicks and Thibodeau. Carlisle was a great coach. What happened and how did they have a meltdown? Did the Pacers lose this game or did your Knicks win this game? Karl Anthony Towns had 4 points in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah,
4 points. And then he goes on a 20-point fourth quarter tear, finishes with 24 and 15, and you all get the win. This is the one player that I worry about, that we all worry about.
yeah,
When he's bad, he's bad. When he's good, this is the results. You're still
yeah.
alive and you're a much
Um,
better team on the road. Yeah, what happened here last night? Nick fan.
Jarvis. Um, I hate to bring this person's name up, but you can relate to it.
Okay.
Like, what would have happened? Because I think y'all about the same age. You may have graduated a couple years before him. What would have happened had Stanley Turner been mean?
Had he
Right?
been meaned?
If he was like if he played angry.
Oh, 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 oh,
You see
wow.
where I'm going with this?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So for
yeah.
those out there in TV land, Stanley Turner he went to high school with us. Well, with
Mhm.
Jarvis, he was gone by the time I got there.
Right.
Uh, a legitimate 7-footer in high school. He's just
Yeah.
such a nice guy, and he didn't care to dunk on you. He just wanted to play basketball. He's to this day, he's literally a nice guy.
Mm,
Condolences to him and his family, by the way. But I'm using him as an example because that's how I feel about Cat. He's just not mean enough. He doesn't want to get down there and bang. When he does, Jarvis, he gets easy buckets. They
yeah,
had to literally play Mitchell Robinson at center because Cat is not playing center well enough. That's the basis. That's what happened.
yeah.
And when the flip switched in his mind that, hey, I'm going to go out on my guns, look what happens. Now, I don't know if that's going to translate to anything in game 4, but for that game, he just decided, hey, I'm going out swinging. Why not start the game swinging, man? You're the best player on the court. He's just not mean enough. He's not mean enough. He needs to get into a little Shaq mentality or at least a little Kevin Garnett mentality or something like get it in your head that hey, I'm the best player out here, and they can't stop me under here.
Right.
That's all post play is a lot of times is they can't stop me under here. You have to have that mentality, and he ain't got it. He had it for a little bit yesterday, and then his shot started falling, and some magic happened. But man, start the game like that. These
Yeah.
guys cannot. Miles Turner can't guard you.
Right.
Siakam definitely can't guard him. He's too big. But in his mind, he's got to sit back and shoot. It, beautiful shot, but we don't need you shooting 30 jump shots, man.
Right.
30 foot jump shots at that.
Yeah. Terrence, your audio is still perfect, but your video is still a
That's
little, a
that's
little, a
interesting.
little,
Okay,
a
I'll tell you
little,
what. Let me
a
hold
little
on. Let me
fuzzy.
try
But
this.
okay, just to let you know, just the FYI. Yeah. And I hope it didn't frustrate it or lose anybody. We had quite a few in here, and then they kind of went away, and we got a few back now. But yeah, that your vision, your audio was perfect. You're not missing a beat. We hear you fine, but we just can't get the visuals. I think they may come in and think that it's just a still picture of you until they see you move for a
Right.
second, and then yeah.
How
But
about now?
it may be better. That may be better there. We'll see. It is so far.
Okay.
That is better though.
Okay.
But T, everything that you just said about your Knicks. Here's my question to you: can you count on that to continue to happen 3 more times in this series in order for them to win
No.
this series?
No.
Right.
I mean, they're
And I
in a
understand.
interest, they're in a very interesting spot
Yeah.
to where if they win Game 4, they go back to New York. But hell, Jarvis, they're not good at home.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing we can say is
And why is
games
that?
one.
Why is
I
that?
don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. And it might be a situation too. Like there's so much pressure in playing at Madison Square Garden. Like the Cowboys until recently, until like the past couple years, kind of sucked in Cowboy Stadium,
Yeah.
AT&T Stadium, because
Yeah.
there was so much in playing in that stadium that Jerry put so much behind. And I think it's probably the same in Madison Square Garden for basketball. There might be bigger arenas as far as the capacity that they can hold, the size of them,
Right.
but there would never be a bigger arena than Madison Square Garden. And
Yes.
so maybe that's some of it. These guys grew up watching, Oakley and Ewing and Starks and all those the '90s teams. Watching Jordan come in, watching Kobe come through there, and D Wade and LeBron, and just seeing how big of a deal it is to play at Madison Square Garden. Because I mean, when's the last time there's been a game this big in Madison Square Garden?
Right.
You
Been a
know,
minute.
and you're looking at it now. If they do win Game 4, going back to Game 5, this will be the biggest game in Madison Square Garden in probably 25 years or so.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes they can get to the players. They get a little tight because there's no way in hell you lose Game 1 like that. And that's what I was about to say. The only thing I can hang my hat on is that games 1, hell, probably Game 2 also, but definitely Game 1 and Game 3. Like they had commanding leads late. Game 1 we know should have been in the books. You know, it's not. It went in the books for Indiana,
Mhm.
but they can say that hey, for the majority of this series, we've played. We've been up in the score. I won't say they played better basketball. They've been up in the score.
Right.
So how do you sustain that and close the games out? And honestly, it looks like from last night, it looks like the best way to close the games out would be to keep Bronson off the court when it matters a little bit, because he is stinking
Crazy.
it up right now.
That's crazy.
And he came in late and made a couple of baskets and made the free throws.
Yeah.
He's good for that. But throughout the course of the game, man, it's something that's I don't know if he's giving up too much size, or that's a problem, or if he's just I just think it's up here. I think his overall team IQ is just too low to consistently beat this Indiana team for 4 quarters.
And Terrence, sometimes when you get down in a series, and then speaking on if it's real now, let's just say this game is real. If it is, sometimes
Yeah.
it definitely looks like it is, and sometimes it doesn't. But when it
Right.
does, let's say it is, maybe
Yeah.
the 0-2, maybe it's just a mental thing, like you said, that man, we're down 0-2 and we got to go on the road for 2 more games. We're done. Maybe they're already
Yeah.
mentally defeated, and that could be some of the reason. This could have, and I mean, it depends on what Nick fan you're at, you ask, but this very well could have restored all faith with some other Nick fans out there, just looking at how they were able to come back and win, looking at how, man, we did this, and Brunson was on the bench for most of the second half or most of the third quarter. He was in foul trouble, et cetera, et cetera. But Carl Anthony Towns, again, for him to do that, that's what it took, that's what it was needed, and he did it. But you just can't count on that to happen consistently. If I had to go with
Right.
the consistency, I wouldn't go with the Knicks over the
No.
Pacers. If I had to go with
Mm-mm.
consistency, I probably wouldn't go with Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves over SGA and the Thunder. They've been the most consistent all of this time, this entire
Yeah.
season. So, yeah, man, I said though a while back, this feels like Thunder and Pacers, two of the youngest teams, the fastest teams. They have the most. They're the deepest. They're the biggest. They're all of that. I said they're the EST. They're Bianca Belair, and here they are. I
Well,
think those are going to be the two teams that are
what
probably
I
going to
saw
be their
that
two
was
games.
real interesting a couple of days ago is that if it is the Thunder and the Pacers, this would essentially be the Paul George finals. Both of those teams use Paul George and trades to build their teams up.
Yeah,
That's how the Thunder got SGA,
yeah,
and that's how the Pacers got Halliburton.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that's exactly what they would be.
So,
Wow. Okay, so could Paul George get a ring regardless of who wins the championship? Can they give him a ring for that? They used him to come up. That's hey, but you're absolutely right. I never saw it like that or seen. Yeah, that's a great example to make. Good point, T. I think that's what it's going to be, man. But again, the Knicks still could tie the series because, again, like I said, they are good on the road. But like you said, they have to go back home. And that's something that they have not been very good at when they get home. I want to give a
which
shout out
team
to
would you rather?
Angelica, who said 49ers. They like the 49ers. I thank you. Bang, bang. We've got a few more in the building saying hello and to Angelica and MV David. Just wanted to speak if they're still here with us. Thank you for joining us on the Great Debate Show. The Great Debate Show is
Who?
available wherever you get your podcast. We are live right now on YouTube streaming, talking about Terrence's New York Knicks and how they are still alive for now with that 2-1, with that win, now making the series 2-1. You were saying,
Which team would
Terrence,
you rather be right now?
which team would I rather be?
Yeah.
Shit, I still would have to say the
Would you rather
Thunder,
be the Knicks or would you rather be the Thunder? Not Thunder, but the
the
Timberwolves.
Pacers. Oh, would I rather be the Thunder or Timberwolves?
Which team down 2 games would you rather be? The Knicks or the Timberwolves?
Okay. Well, I would probably have to say the Knicks, because believe it or not, because of how they lost those first two games at home, they were very much in those games.
Yeah.
They have a better chance to come back in this
Yeah.
series, in my opinion, than the Timberwolves do. And I know they crushed OKC on Saturday night, and we're about
Yeah.
to get into that in a minute here. But man, from what I've seen all year from OKC, I don't expect them to have any more games like that. Like consistently, I don't think the Timberwolves will make all of their threes like they did on
Yeah.
Saturday night. I don't think
Mhm.
that the Thunder will be as bad. I think that the Thunder are the best team, and I don't know why we've been hesitating to say that, Terrence. But I think it's been
Yeah.
more of we're questioning the lack of experience. But every series they win, they get more and more experience, and this is their second year being a number one seed. They
Yeah.
had an early exit last year. This time they said, "No, fuck that. Enough is enough. We're going straight to
Who
the
beat them
final."
last year?
That's a good question, T. Was it the Denver Nuggets?
I think Denver beat them in the first round, maybe.
I think it might have been Denver beating them in the first round. I want to say so, and and they almost did it again, you know. But again, credit to the Denver Nuggets or whoever it was that beat them. We could blame it on lack of experience then, but now, man, they're not going for that. And the one thing that helps the Thunder out is they play great defense. Everybody does that, whether their shot is falling or not. And that's something that I could say the Wolves have to worry about a lot more than the Knicks have to worry about the Pacers. And that's no shade to the Pacers because they
Right.
are a very good team that we
Yeah.
have failed to, realize, you know.
No,
And
I mean,
Terrence,
I won't lie. I didn't take them throughout the regular season. I didn't take them seriously.
you did
You know,
not, Terrence. I wanted to say this, Terrence, but in case people who have not been here before or who missed it, because they see me throughout the week now, and then
right.
I get you in here when we can get you in here. And Terrence,
Mhm.
you said after you all went up 2-0 against the Celtics that series was over, which you were right, and you also said I think we're going to the finals now, overlooking the
Yeah.
Pacers. So I just wanted to put that out there because I wonder
Yeah.
how you
I
feel
mean, yeah,
about
and I wanted, yeah,
that
I
statement
wanted
now.
to be, and I think I was clear even then, but I can even restate that now. It's not necessarily overlooking the Pacers. I just didn't think they were as good as the Knicks were, and I would still say flip the coaches, flip the coaches. It's a sweep, right? Like I think that's the importance of Rick Carlisle. What I did was overlook Rick Carlisle. I wasn't overlooking the talent that the Pacers have. I just didn't. I didn't when I was calculating how the series will go. I didn't factor in the Rick Carlisle factor. Uh, Jarvis, just look at it like this: that dude has had, I think, 4 challenges, maybe 5. He's won every single one of them. Like that's just how good of a coach he is. He does not waste anything. He gets the most out of every player.
Right.
McConnell comes in the game 10 points off the bat.
Yeah.
Like that's because Carlisle is putting him in the right spots to do those things. And I don't even think the Knicks have somebody on their bench that can come in and get 10 quick points.
I mean, if they do, we wouldn't know because Thibodeau won't play out. He
They
won't
won't
play
play
more
him.
than 5 or 6 players. You know,
Yeah, somebody said Thibodeau won't play 9 players in a baseball game.
I heard that. I heard that, and I think that is absolutely true and humorous. So
Yeah,
yeah, man. I see what you're saying. If you switch to coaches, this could be. But I've said this before on this show many of times. I've said that sometimes great coaching can outweigh the talent. And not
absolutely,
saying that the Pacers are
absolutely.
not talented, but they are very well coached also, and
Yep.
they're much deeper. The Knicks, either they don't have the bench or he just doesn't trust the bench. Either way it goes, he plays who he
Well,
plays, and that's it when it comes to Thibodeau. And
yeah. And I will say this: speaking of the bench, Jarvis, put this on your. If you have a parlay, put it on there. McBride has got to have a good game at some point. The man is I wouldn't call him a great player, but he he can make shots, and he has not played well probably in a series and a half. Half of
right,
this series and most of last series. At some point, McBride has got to break through. It might be game 4. You might get like 4 threes out of him, man. So just putting it on your radar at some point. I thought it was going to be last game, but it's got to be coming up soon. So look forward in game 4, man. McBride might have a breakthrough with like 4 threes or something.
okay, we'll be looking for it. We'll see, and we definitely will come back to that if that happens here on the
Yeah,
show. That's all I got about the Knicks, man. I just wanted to let you speak your piece and say what you had to say
sure.
about them. We're in 3 games now, and I think this is probably the first time we've had you on since that series started. It didn't get out to the start that you would have liked, of course, but it's not over. And again, we can say that because we look at the 2 games that you lost. You shouldn't have lost them, at least not the first one. So when you look at it, it's like, okay, hey, this could still be a series. We'll see. I think the way this goes a lot is that team will get close to tying the series, and then that's when they'll make some run and show you who they are. They're still them. They're the better team, and then they get that 3-1 lead, and then the series is over because it's going back to the other side. That's what I think happens with Minnesota tonight. I think it'll be a competitive game, but that third quarter surge that OKC hits you with, that could really put
That's
this could
tough.
finish the
That's
Timberwolves
tough.
season tonight if they go down 3-1 instead of tying it. And I think it'll come close to them tying it, and then OKC will turn back into OKC and they overwhelm you with their swarming defense. And shout out to Lou Dort and all those guys, man. They don't get the credit that they deserve. Them guys defend
I agree.
every night. We complain about teams
Yeah.
that don't play defense. This team does it. So I don't know if they'll be a hated team. I don't know if they'll be a hated dynasty, even if they'll become a dynasty. But you're gonna have to come with it. Teams that are making whatever acquisitions they make, it's gonna take a lot to come with it to be able to match up with the depth and the size that this team has, and the fact that SGA can manipulate his way to the free throw line every single time better than anybody in the league, even better than Brunson. He really makes it look like he's getting fouled and he's creating all the contact. People are calling him a flopper. They're sick of him. Um, Terrence, is there anything the Timberwolves can do to turn this series around, or do you think that we have Pacers Thunder NBA Finals?
What they can do is they can rely on this series, as far as the Timberwolves are concerned, is literally going to come down to how heroic Anthony Edwards can be. Because while I do think they have decent players around him, if people have been calling him young Jordan, baby Jordan, Jordan clone, whatever, Jordan's illegitimate son. If he ain't all of that shit, this series is over. You know, he is going to have to literally pull something out of the hat that we have only seen from a few guys. Um, because I think as a team, they are dead overwhelmed. And it's almost the same as like Indiana and New York. I don't think that outside of SGA and yeah, just SGA. I don't, and I like I would say SGA is here, and it's probably like like right under him, right? Um, in terms of consistency, but like everybody else, I think is fairly evenly matched. Coaching. It comes down to coaching so far.
Right.
Styles of play. OKC does what they want to do better than what Minnesota does. But the one difference can be Anthony Edwards just going the hell off. And I think that is they have a puncher's chance in that situation. They can be a scene Rockman and beat Lennox Lewis he um if he just comes out and just goes bananas. I mean, he's got to go like doggone Vegeta, just off.
He can
If
do
not
it.
for that, I don't see it happening.
Right.
Because I don't who would be their number two? Who would you consider their number two?
Julius Randle.
Ju- I ain't got no faith in him. You know I ain't got no faith in Randall.
I know you
When
don't.
every,
I know you
when
don't.
everything is going great, Randall looks like a real good player. When it's not, you just a big old you him and Cat are that's the most even trade I've ever seen in my life.
Do you
Two big
really?
old
You think so? Do you really think
two
so?
big old two big old two guards, man. Just two guys that
No.
should be unstoppable.
Mm,
They stop themselves.
well, this is what we kind of disagree with that part. And
Okay.
this is and again, the Timberwolves fell. They in order to get to the NBA Finals, you got to beat three teams, and they ran into the
Yeah.
wrong team. But this is the best team that they ran into, and that's OKC.
Mhm.
But Cat is way more of a big two guard than Julius Randle, in my opinion. Just because, I mean, he scores a lot in the paint, a lot more than Cat, and he does it off of the physicality that you may bring to
Yeah.
him or that he may dish back to you. Like he
Mhm.
really can dish it and take it. And he scores a lot more, in that contact. So and finally he started to hit his, outside shots. He hadn't really been
Yeah.
taking a lot of them, and he wasn't really knocking a lot of them down. Nas Reed was the number two for a minute, and now Randall has came back and said, "Hey man, I'm back. I'm healthy. Like I'm the reason why y'all traded for me. Now watch me work." So it's just that again, they didn't. Chet Holmgren was the not. He's not the one who's guarding Randall, which I understand why they didn't do that. He would have killed him. I mean, yes, Chet Holmgren has the length, but boy, he's too small for
He's
Randall in the paint.
way too thin.
Way too thin.
Way too
And
thin.
way too thin. But they didn't do that. Havenstein has actually really stood up and stood his ground, and he's been decent. He's been a rim protector. He's been rebounding. He's been doing good, better than I expected. I expected him to hold his own, but I didn't expect him to kind of like dominate. And he's kind of did that, except for that first half that Randall had in game one. And
Yeah.
they got to get back to that some type of way. But yeah, I'm with you, T. No matter what they do, I still think they're cooked, and I don't care if they did blow them out by 42. I want the Timberwolves to win. I want Ant Man to win. But I've been saying all along, OKC is going to the NBA Finals. They win the West. I just got the
Yeah.
East wrong with the Celtics. Didn't expect the Celtics to go out like they went out. Thanks to your
I
Knicks,
didn't
though,
either.
they did.
I didn't either. I picked the Celtics in that series. I was shocked.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody told me that the Celtics couldn't lose. So I kind of went with that instead of my gut. But then again, I was like, well, who will beat the Celtics? So you know what? It was the safe bet. I ain't gonna lie, but I got it wrong. But as far as the West goes, I looked at them and I said, I don't know who will beat them right now. Like who overall is a better team than OKC right now. And I think that they're going to win this whole thing now. I would love to be wrong. However, I've said that this was coming a few years ago. I said, hey, watch out for SGA and what he's doing. He's averaging like 30 every night, and he gets to the free throw line like nobody's business. And he plays defense also. Everybody on the team plays defense. They've got about four elite defenders. With Lou Dort and Caruso comes off the bench, what Havenstein and SGA can do, because he's very underrated on the defensive end. This team is
Yeah.
good, man. This is good. Jalen Williams, who is probably their number two, to be honest. And he's one of those players where it's like, it depends on which one you get. But when you get the good version of Jalen Williams, oh man,
Yeah.
the Thunder can't be beat. And again, though,
I agree.
give the Timberwolves credit for what they did Saturday night. But I don't think they beat them by 40 again. I don't think they beat them by 20. I think it'll be much closer. And it'll come down to the referees, the officials, who's going to get the calls. We know SGA gets them in OKC and has to continue to be aggressive and make sure he gets the same amount of calls and get to the free throw line
Absolutely.
in
Absolutely.
Minnesota. Yes, yeah. All right. Well, I'm done. Who you have tonight though winning this game? Game 4 in Minnesota.
I'm going with OKC. I think that one thing about blowout wins, a team gets hot. That's the mentality you have to have. Like they just got hot.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll come back the next game. We'll squash them. So I'm going to go with OKC, and we'll go back to Oklahoma with them being up 3-1. But yeah, I got OKC tonight.
Okay. And we had Victor come in here. I hope he's still there. He said while we were speaking earlier about the Knicks, he said the Knicks are still cooked. And I kind of want to agree with him. He may very well be right. But again, 20 points in the fourth quarter from Cat, 15 rebounds, 24 points. That was the biggest takeaway from the Knicks comeback win. And a lot of this was with their number one guy, their main star, Jalen Brunson, having to be on the bench for that most part. The Pacers were up 55-35 with about a few minutes left in the third quarter. Actually, we were down to under a minute in the third. Something like that.
Second quarter.
Second quarter, I'm sorry. Second quarter.
Yeah.
And then things kind of turned around. And just like that 106-100 win, Knicks survived. They're still alive. We know had they lost last night, it was a wrap. But according to Victor, they're still cooked. And I kind of have to agree with him. We've got Al in the building. What's up, man? Al, Stanton Beulah. Hadn't seen you in a while, but he's back. And no, you were here last week also. Welcome. And again, happy Memorial Day, everyone. We I almost forgot to mention it, but we want to, give a shout out and our condolences to all the people that have lost their loved ones, family and friends, or whatever, to people who have lost their lives, in service for us, protecting us in this damn country of ours that we call America. We do thank them and appreciate them. And so again, happy Memorial Day. Hope everybody's having a good holiday. Hope you have a great week. We just talking about what happened over the weekend with the NBA playoffs. There is something that I want to speak on since we're kind of done with this. I got the Thunder winning tonight too. I hate to say that because again, I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan, but he's only 23 and he's got more time. SGA in his 7th season, he's already a married man with children or with a child. He's an MVP now. It would be fitting for him to go on and go to the finals and win the championship. Anything else would be uncivilized. A lot of players don't get to do this. They get the MVP and then they have an early exit, from the playoffs. Yep. And it's like, but there's no Michael Jordans. As much as I would like to call Anthony Edwards Michael Jordan, he's not doing what Michael Jordan had done, like beat the MVP in the series and go win that championship. He did that to Karl Malone. He did that to Charles Barkley in the finals. MVP winners. Jordan got the last laugh. Anthony Edwards is not quite there yet because unless he can win this series, and if he does, then he is the person that I thought he is or would be. But as of right now, he hasn't been as good. I need more of what he was Saturday night the rest of the way. And I just don't think I'll get that consistently. I'll go with the consistency from SGA, who just, whether we like it or hate it, he knows how to get to the free throw line, and he is going to get there. All right. Al in the building. Eugene Chris is in the building. Says SGA game is boring to me. I'd rather take Ant-Man. You see what I mean? A lot of people do not like SGA and the way he plays, how he gets to the free throw line. But again, we can't say that we love Kobe and Jordan for doing it, Allen Iverson for doing it, and then
James Harden
still does
Harden.
That he is the new James Harden. If you want to be real,
he is. Yeah.
He just doesn't make it look as bad as Harden. He's flopping sometimes, but he makes it look like he's really getting fouled. He's so manipulative with that. He's a master manipulator when it comes to that and the referees. But he's still good too. He's got a great mid-range game. He doesn't
that mid-range game is
threes like everybody else as much. Is it? Ain't it? Ain't it, man? For real. He can get to his spot.
If he was throwing darts in the mid-range, bullseye every time.
Every time. And that's what we have to give him his credit for, regardless of everything that you just said, Eugene. Not that you're wrong. I've seen this. I used to say, watch out for this guy, because I would just see the stats at the bottom of the screen every other day. Then I said, let me watch and see how he's doing this, because this is almost unheard of. And why is no one talking about it? And then I watched and I said, oh, he's getting half of that 30 from the line. but he knows how to get there. He's doing it so smooth. He's very finesse.
Yeah.
He really can finesse those officials, and I understand why people are frustrated with it. You've seen Jaden McDaniels for the Timberwolves get frustrated with it and just push his ass like, man, I'm sick of you with this shit, man. I get the frustration. I do. But when you're good, and he's just good at it. And I would suggest that other players learn how to do the same. That's what Jay Will said too. And I guess that's just what it is, because this is what the officials are doing. Until they stop doing that, he's going to have the advantage every time. And I liked Jaden McDaniels' chances with defending him and Alexander Walker and Ant. I did. And I'm a huge Ant fan, so I'm with everything Eugene is saying, but I got to give credit to the better team. They are overall the better basketball team, though.
Yep.
And I think we're getting Thunders and Pacers in the NBA Finals. Okay. Eugene also said, do he dunk? I've never saw it. He does it a little
It,
bit, but it ain't
yeah,
nothing
it's just
flashy.
very. He's not a hard dunker.
No,
He is a very energy efficient person. He tries to
that's a good
use
one.
as less energy as possible. You can tell this guy is he's very smart with his time, right? Like he ain't got time for all the pulling back and all the willing
Yeah,
mills. He's just
yeah,
gonna go for a simple, boring two-handed dunk. Very Reggie Millerish.
yeah. You're not gonna get Ja Morant at the rim, but he
No, no,
still
you're not
can
gonna
get
get
to
Ja.
the rim. Yeah, but he still can get to the rim and finish though. So he's very wise, and I like the word that Terrence just used. Very energy efficient. That's good. Um, And so, yeah, man, we're going to see SGA versus Tyrese Halliburton, I think, in the finals. And I think that's going to be great. I think that's going to be great to see. And both teams are, you got one who's an MVP and you got one who was voted to be the most overrated. And yet he's still there, too. So I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out because right now Halliburton is still telling everybody to overrate that shit. And I don't know how long he's going to be on that tour. But I said this could go on into Father's Day, and it looks like it's going to, meaning that he'll be playing in the finals. I want to talk about one more thing before we wrap this up, Terrence. On a Memorial Day, did you see the what was it, top 10? The top 10 quarterback list for 2025 according to PFF? I wanted to
I
speak
did
on that
not.
for a minute.
Surprisingly,
Well, if anybody saw it, it's not bad. I just want to see if there's any tweaks that you would like to make, Terrence. If
okay.
anybody here watching us in the audience want to make any tweaks to it. According to PFF, though, the top 25, the top 20, I'm sorry, quarterbacks in the league. And I think it'd be better if I start from the bottom. Number
Yeah.
20, and I don't have a problem with this at all. I may actually have him a little higher ranked because if the Panthers had a good draft like I think they did, Bryce Young's going to be a lot better in 2025. He's number 20 for the Carolina
Okay.
Panthers. Number 19 is Bo Nix. Number 18 is Tua Tagovailoa, all the way down at 18.
Mm.
17, and this may be a little bit disrespectful, even for me. Number 17 is Dak Prescott. Now I know I've been saying Dak is holding the Cowboys back, but
I think it's fair.
17, you think it's
I
fair?
think it's fair.
Woo, okay. Dak Prescott at number 17. Number 16, I ain't arguing with this. Well, maybe I should. He should probably be 17. Trevor Lawrence. You telling me Trevor Lawrence is better than Dak Prescott? Number 15, Kyler Murray. Number 14, woo, I don't know about this. CJ Stroud, way down at 14. Uh,
Mm.
13,
Okay.
13 is Baker Mayfield. He did have a good past 2 seasons, we know. And he played a majority of that without his wide receiver,
Yeah.
Chris Godwin. And Mike Evans missed about 7 games as well. So he's at 13. Number 12. I don't know how y'all feel about this one. It's Jordan Love. Most people would say that he did take a dip last season. He had an injury week 1. He wasn't quite the same. The Packers were one and done in the playoffs because of that. Number 11, and this is very interesting. This is where it gets interesting. We're about to creep into the top 10. And at number 11, somebody who has been asked here recently, since he signed a contract, was he a top 10 quarterback? And he said, yes, he's a top 10 quarterback. Well, according to PFF, he's number 11, Brock Purdy. That's my quarterback. In the words of Terrell Owens, that's my quarterback. Brock Purdy is number 11. Number 10, woo wee, we get into the nitty gritty now. Number 10, Geno Smith, quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, somebody's really giving him some approval out. Maybe it's because he's back with Pete Carroll. I don't know. Maybe it's because Tom Brady's the owner and maybe he's going to help him with something with watching film. I don't know. Gino is number 10. Number 9, Jared Goff. Number 8, Justin Herbert. Number 7, Matthew Stafford. Number 6, I love this one, Jayden Daniels. Number 5, the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Number 4, Josh Allen. You probably know how the rest of this is going to go. 3, Lamar Jackson. 2, Joe Burrow. Hadn't won a playoff game in a couple of years now, but he's number 2. And number 1 is still Patrick Mahomes, even though he didn't look like the boogeyman in that last game we saw him play in. All right, Terrence, that's the top 20 that I just gave you. I started with Bryce Young at number 20, and I finished with Patrick Mahomes at number 1. How do you feel about that list?
The only thing really egregious would be having Geno Smith in the top 10. I didn't understand that.
He is number 10. Yeah, me.
Yeah, I would probably put Stroud at number 10.
Okay.
They had Stroud at what, they had him at 13, 14?
14.
Yeah, there's no way Stroud is outside of the top 10, in my opinion.
And one more question to that. Terrence, sure. According to them, they're saying Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. Do you agree?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud?
What are they rating this by? What are they? Did they say what their criteria was?
I have no idea. No, it's just no. I have no idea. According to PFF, this is how they're ranking them for 2025. So I guess these
are projections.
These are projections for the season. Yeah. And
okay.
they're saying that that Brock Purdy and Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield are better than C.J. Stroud and Geno Smith.
Who is Geno throwing the ball to over in Las Vegas? Who does he have to throw the ball to?
I think they drafted that wide receiver. Did they draft that wide receiver? No. They drafted Genty. They drafted the running back Ashton Genty. I don't know who they're throwing it to.
So I don't understand that one. And I like Geno. Like, to me, putting Geno around 15 or so would have been fair. Yeah. I don't know about top 10.
Right.
Yeah, that one is kind of mind-boggling. The rest, I mean, really, honestly, 5 through 2, you can put those guys anywhere. I can't argue with it. You know me, I would say Lamar at number 2. I don't think anybody has still earned the right to eclipse Mahomes at number 1. Maybe that'll change this year. You know, had Josh Allen finished off everything and won the Super Bowl, or if Lamar won the Super Bowl, maybe you could put those guys up there. Now, I will say this too. At some point, I feel like being at number 5 is disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. We've seen Jalen Hurts now in 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs. And in my opinion, he was the best player on the field in both games.
Yep.
Even though they didn't win the first one, it wasn't because of Jalen Hurts.
So where would you rank Joe Burrow? They got him at number 2. You would much rather have your quarterback Lamar Jackson at number 2. Where would you put Joe Burrow? Where does he belong?
Like I said, anywhere 2 through 5. I would say probably 3 behind Lamar or 4 behind Josh Allen. You just can't go wrong with 2. 2 through 5 is really 2B. You like it's 2A, 2B, 2. You know, it's all those guys are right behind Mahomes in my opinion. So, and I wish they would have numbered them that way. Like 1 is Mahomes, 2A is Burrow, 2B is Lamar. You know, to me that's the only right way to do it. And either of those guys can take the next step up. I think Lamar, in my opinion, when having 2 MVPs in that time frame, should have been 3. Probably has the biggest claim to it. Josh Allen now also has an MVP, so he has a claim to it. Yeah, I just think that. And also too, go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask, what would you slide Jalen Hurts up to though? If he doesn't deserve to be at 5, what would you slide him up at? I know you want to slide Joe Burrow down a little bit from 2 to.
I would probably right now. I'd probably put Jalen Hurts at 3.
Now that sounds more.
I'd probably put him at 3. I would if I just had to redo it. If I had to redo it, I would have Mahomes 1, Lamar 2, Hurts 3, and then you can do what you want to do with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, in my opinion. 4 and 5, however you want to do it.
I think that's exactly how it should go, and I think Joe Burrow, and y'all know I love Joe Burrow. I've been talking about him since he came into this league. It's
Yeah.
time to put him at least number 5, y'all. He ain't been to the playoffs. He ain't won the playoffs. I don't care about them not having defense. All of that is just excuses. Josh Allen ain't had a lot of that shit either, and he still was an MVP last year. So he
Yeah.
definitely has to be above Joe Burrow, but yet they have him at 4 and Joe
Well,
Burrow at 2. Like that's that they just got to be stop it. Now again, this is what they're projected for 2025, but I mean, just because the
yeah,
Bengals
and on
drafted
top of that,
defensive
Jarvis, like
players,
that man has had two number one receivers his whole from his last year at LSU up until now. He's had two number one receivers. They could put him at 6 for all I care.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that I mean, hell, Lamar ain't had one yet. Not a number one.
he has not. He has not.
Josh Allen damn sure ain't got one right now.
He does not.
They had to gut their whole receiving core
And won an MVP without one.
and one
He,
MVP without it.
he lost his
Much
number one
much
and his
respect.
number 2. Yeah, he lost his number 1 and his number 2.
Same season,
Yeah, yeah,
same off season. So
exactly.
much respect. But I have a little less respect for somebody that's always had two number one receivers. Well, damn, you got two number ones. Of course, you're gonna have good numbers.
Right. If he doesn't, I'm telling you, if he doesn't watch it, he's going to be Dan Marino. That's what he's going to be for his entire career. You were great. You had some talent too, and you never
Yeah,
won enough though. You didn't win the big game, the Super Bowl. He'd had one appearance, just like Dan Marino, early in his career, just like Dan Marino, and Marino never got back. If he don't watch it, that's who he's going to be, and that would make me very wrong because since he got drafted, I said that he was going to be the next Joe Montana. And Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls though, baby. He didn't. He
never
didn't. He
lost.
did not like
Never lost.
and never lost. So yeah, and we're not trying to be disrespectful. I love me some Joe Burrow, and I
Not
don't
at
want to
all.
see him without those 2 wide receivers. That ain't even one of my claims. It's the fact that Josh Allen is MVP. How is he number 4? I'm bumping him up, and I'm just like T. Mahomes is still 1, I guess. After looking at that Super Bowl, I don't know if
By
I
this
want to
much.
continue to call him. Yeah, yeah, by that
By
much.
this
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah. There you go. Because looking at him the past few seasons, he hasn't had a lot of talent, and he ain't did a lot without that talent either because he ain't been anywhere close to MVP numbers in a while. And yes, he's still been able to carry the team and get them to where they're going. But I don't know so much is that him carrying them, or is that Kelsey? Is that Andy Reid? Is that the defense? Has it been Steve Spagnuolo? You know. But overall, as a team, they've been getting there. But yeah, I'm gonna barely say he's still number 1, Mahomes, and number 2 for me, it's not Joe Burrow. I don't care what they think 2025 is going to look like. That defense that they drafted, they're draft picks. If they work out, then maybe he could be a top 2 quarterback. But you think all the draft picks going to work out? And they still don't. And they still don't have what's his name, Trey Hendrickson, because I don't think he's going to play, show up, or anything. You know, if he didn't
No.
get the contract that he's not going to get, because it's gotten pretty ugly with him in Cincinnati. So yeah, give me number 2, Lamar. Once again, the quarterback who has no talent. Give me him number 2. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, I'm sorry. I'm still tripping. I'll say Mahomes 1. I'll say Lamar 2. I'll say no. I'm still gonna say, damn. I'm stuck between 3. Do I want to go with
It
Josh
is
Allen or
tough.
do I want to go with Jalen Hurts? I'm gonna say. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say Josh Allen because he was MVP, and I know he didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but he did a lot with little. So he's gonna be my 3. 4 is gonna be Jalen Hurts. I know he won a Super Bowl, but I can't put him above Mahomes and Lamar and Josh. Not yet. But look, and again, Josh Allen is somebody who, I mean, not Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that has it all. Me and Nick used to have debates on this show, and Nick would say that Brock Purdy is one of the most overrated players in the league, and that he has been plugged into a system where he has nothing but talent from across the board, and so he's all right, but he looks like they praise him a lot more than what they should be when he's just a quarterback or a point guard facilitating the offense. Well, he's not wrong. However, that's exactly what Jalen Hurts has been doing since he's been in the league, or at least since they made the trade for AJ Brown. And they've got Devontae Smith, and they've got now Saquon Barkley, who most people would say carried the Eagles to the Super Bowl, but he had a phenomenal Super Bowl game, and he is good. It's just that with Jalen Hurts, I see a difference from when you play man and when you're inside the zone and make him figure it out. He doesn't look like an elite quarterback then. He struggles. And that's all that I say about him. But yeah, he'll be my number 4. And number 5, I'll say Joe Burrow right there. But I can't do any better than that. 17 for Dak Prescott. I had a problem with that too. I'm not gonna lie. Come on, y'all. Dak Prescott doesn't deserve to be number 10 or number 11 at least. Why is he at the bottom at 17? I mean, it's not like the Cowboys have a lot of offense or a lot of firepower on offense. They may have a number 1 and 2 combo now that they have Pickens. But the last time we saw Dak Prescott, he was putting up great numbers and he didn't have, a running back, backfield or any of that. I have a problem with CJ Stroud being 14. I think he's probably like number 8, number 7. I don't think that he should be 14. I have a problem with Stafford being number 7. Why? Why? Why do we keep wanting to put Stafford somewhere around the top 5 or keep him close to sniffing it? Matthew Stafford is the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. You know what? Because the Rams were this close to beating the Eagles, the only team in the postseason that had a chance. And he was terrible that last drive. I mean, terrible with his inaccurate passes. And he did it for like 1 down, 2 downs, 3 downs. He did it for like 4 straight downs. And they moved the chains maybe once or twice. No thanks to Matthew Stafford. And then when he had to make a throw, he was terrible. So I don't understand why he's number 7. This is a team that I thought could have been kicking the tires on Shadur Sanders, also, might I add. So I don't understand why he's 7. That could have been CJ Stroud. Why the fuck is Justin Herbert in the top 10? The motherfucker ain't won a playoff game yet. We still talking about this shit, Terrence. Have we been
Right.
talking about this for a couple of years now? He ain't won
Yeah.
a playoff game yet. And you know who he lost that playoff game to last year? CJ motherfucking Stroud. So yeah, I got a problem with Herbert being number 8 and Stroud being number 14. That's disrespectful. Justin Herbert ain't a top 10 quarterback. If he was, he'd have a playoff win by now. Period. Jared Goff at number 9. I ain't got a problem with that. And again, Geno Smith, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm
Yeah, I don't
surprised that they
understand
have
that.
him at number 10 for 2025. Is GT going to make him that much better with play action? He is a hell of a play action quarterback, but
No.
damn. Yeah, like you said, who is he throwing it to? So, and Brock Purdy at number 11. I'm not really tripping with Brock Purdy at 11 because I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I do think he's a top 12, top 13 quarterback when he's got everybody, like when he's got all his spades, the ace, the joker, the baby joker, and all of that. He won't have all of that, though, this year. So I don't have a problem with them saying he's number 11. Yeah, but those are the players that I would probably push up. Baker Mayfield should be closer to 10 instead of 13. Jordan Love at 12. I ain't got a problem with that. Bo Nix at 19, I thought was a little low. I thought he could be higher than that. And Trevor Lawrence should be at number 20, not 16. Bump him all the way down to the bottom. He ain't done nothing. Kyler Murray, yeah, I don't know. I guess he's fine at 15. So yeah, I just wanted to give that list. And I wanted to hear
Yeah.
Terrence's thoughts, and I wanted to
Yeah.
give time.
I think that the last complaint I'll have about that is you look at the highest paid QBs in the league. Jarvis, you remember when Lamar was a free agent?
Yes.
And everybody was like, "Oh, we can't give $50 million to a QB." Got no offers from any other team. But if you look at the highest paid QB list, Jarvis, Lamar is barely top 10.
Yeah. I'm about
It's Trevor
to
Lawrence,
talk
Herbert,
about that list too.
Burrow,
I can give
Dak.
you that list. He's number
There's
10.
somebody else.
He's
There's
number
about
10 right now.
7. What's that?
He's number 10 right now. Lamar Jackson on the list as far as quarterbacks being paid. When you look at the average annual value for 2025, yes, he's number 10.
And all the QBs that are way behind him are the ones that make more than him.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you what I've always said about Lamar. And I said it jokingly, but I was serious. Out of all the black quarterbacks, he's the blackest. And they always try to make an example out of him with all the criticism, with the way they do the contracts. Yeah, and it's totally unfair. That man should have not have had to struggle to get a contract.
Right.
They should have never had to go through any type of negotiation. It should have been, hey, this is how much you sign. Let's go. Let's roll. you know, because all these other guys, Burrow didn't have to fight for his contract. Heck,
Not at
Burrow got
all.
his contract and still got two of the top receivers paid.
Yep.
So it's just astonishing how different business is with different people.
Yeah, man. Here's the 9 quarterbacks that are getting paid more than Lamar Jackson right now for 2025. Number 9 is Justin Herbert at 53 million. I mean 52 and a half.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Lamar is getting 52 even, and Justin Herbert at number 9 is 52 and a half. Tied for number 7 is Brock Purdy at 53 per. Jared Goff also at 53 per, and Tua Tagovailoa also at 53.1. He's number 6 at 53.1. Jordan Love, 55 per. Trevor Lawrence, 55 per. Joe Burrow, 55. Josh Allen, 55. And then at number 1 is Dak Prescott, of course, still at the top of the market, top of the food chain at 60 million per. At least the Niners didn't get crazy and give him 60 or 61, but I still didn't think he should have gotten 53. But it is what it is. He got it, and he got a no trade clause. Okay, whatever. Lamar Jackson don't even have a no trade clause in his contract. It's things like that that make me roll my eyes at the San
Yeah.
Francisco 49ers and the Yorks. Like, seriously? Like, how much more do you have to do to convince us that we know you love your quarterback? We get it. Keep in mind, this is the same team. They love their quarterback so much. The rumors are they were about to make a trade with the Tennessee Titans for their number 1 pick, and Brock Purdy was going to be the Titans franchise quarterback until the Titans backed off and said, nah, we just met Cam Ward again. We love him, and he's going to be a lot cheaper. We think he is the guy. They had some doubts, I guess, because they were actually like they had the 49ers on hold. And then they finally clicked back over and said, nah, we'll pass. So the Niners can stop with all of this BS and all this smoke they're blowing and make us think they love the quarterback so much. Okay, we get it. But I know about the Titans. I know. I heard what you did, what you tried to do. Stop it. And that means that my ideas, my creativity wasn't too far fetched. As you know, as I play, the couch general manager over here, I
Yeah.
suggested that the Steelers of the Titans should be calling for Brock Purdy services. And it seems to me that the Titans did, and the Niners didn't hang the phone up. But anyway, that's all I got. We talked about the quarterback list, top 20 for 2025. Do you agree with PFF and that list? Do you think Joe Burrow should still be a top 2 quarterback? Should Mahomes still be number 1? We will find out in 2025 how that will look and how that will go. But the Knicks are still alive. The Wolves are still alive. The Wolves are fighting for their playoff lives again tonight because if they go down 3-1 and have to go back to OKC, it's probably going to be a wrap. We think we're going to get the Thunders and the Pacers, and I want to appreciate and thank Terrence for coming in here with me today and keeping it real, saying that he doesn't think his Knicks have a chance anymore to win this series. He's being real, and that's a long way back from what he was thinking. But again, we talked about Rick Carlisle and the coaching. It's a big difference. Thibodeau
Yeah.
versus Rick Carlisle, he's getting a huge L right now in the coaching department. If they lose this series, Terrence, which we think they will, even though he got them to the Western Conference Finals, we'll just say it's time for the Knicks to move on before we get out of here.
Gotta go.
Already saying it. Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Gotta
Yep.
go. Okay. And I think so
Yep.
as well. The Knicks are going to go for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He would love to play in New York as well. I think that Karl Anthony Towns might have saved his job a game longer, but unless he continues to do what he did last night, he's going to be the one who's going to be out. He's the big fish that they're going to use to get the big whale, and
Yep.
Giannis is probably going to be there under a new coach. I just hope you all don't go get Doc Rivers or somebody like that if he gets fired in Milwaukee. But that's all I got, pretty much. Jose is in here talking about the AFC and the NFC and the UFC. Pacers in 5. He also says ABC, NBC, KFC. Minnesota in 7. That's a good one, Jose. I like it.
Wow.
You really think Minnesota's going to come back and win this series, though, bro?
Okay, in 7.
Honestly? Woo, I
That's
like that.
interesting.
Jose said ABC, NBC, KFC. Minnesota in 7. Okay.
I'm here for it. Hey, if that's
All
the
right,
case, I'm
man.
here for it, man. That makes
I
some
love
make for
Ant
some
Man.
doggone good TV.
I would love to see it, but I just, woo, he says, yes, bro. I really do believe it. Okay. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Um, Man, I'm gonna give him like 30 more seconds to explain it real quick. How are they gonna force a game 7 and win it? Like seriously, Thunder about to lose to a deadbeat.
Oh
he
my
talking? Is
goodness.
he talking about Ant?
Yeah.
I've heard that. Stop it, man. Stop it. I've heard that. Well, his dad's a deadbeat too. If Michael Jordan's his real dad, he didn't raise him, did he? Or did he take care of him? Let me stop, Lyle. Let me stop. You can't cancel me though. I've already been canceled. Damn it. All right. Jose says, "Y'all be easy, bro." Okay, man. You have a great holiday, and no, don't might just do it.
No, Mike,
just,
just click the damn button.
just sub, brother. But yeah, we gonna get out of
You know,
here.
hey, you know what Sue Young said on Rush Hour? Press the goddamn button.
Right, right, right. Yeah, well, we appreciate it, man. He says we are valid, and we appreciate you for that, man. We just wanted to talk about the Knicks Pacers. We think that it's gonna be Thunder and Pacers when it's all said and done, though. But we recapped last night. Great game for Cat. Need more of it. And Ant Man had a great Saturday. Great game 3. They need a lot more of that tonight if they want to keep their hopes alive for the NBA Finals. That's all I got. And we talked about that top 20 list that PFF has for the 2025 season, ranking the top 20 quarterbacks. And that's it. Tomorrow we come back and I'll be talking. Of course, I'll recap tonight's game, but I want to talk about a Wednesday. No, tomorrow I'm doing Canelo Crawford. Wednesday, I'm doing that. We talked about it in the chat, Terrence. You missed it, but we're going to do 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I don't think the 80s even really belong in it, but we'll start with about 5 or 6 decades, and we're going to narrow it down to the top 3. And I think that probably will be the 70s, the 90s, and the 2000s. I'm not sure. But we're going to debate the best decades of all time as far as sports goes, as far as music genres, movies, television, sitcoms. What was your favorite decade of all of that shit? Just all combined into one. As Jay-Z always said, he's an 80s baby, even though he was not born in the 80s. If you understand where he's coming from,
That's where they
80s is
made me at.
that's where it made him. Yeah, that's where he became who he is. Everything about him growing up in his adolescent years is the 80s. And that's what he
That's
is.
where he,
Me,
that's where he made all his damn money.
that's where he started to.
Yeah,
That's where they begin to be, yeah. But he was still young in the 80s. So when I say
yeah,
adolescent, yeah, Jay-Z was still like a teen in his 80s, in the 80s.
yeah.
And the 80s is when I was born. And I'm not an 80s baby. I'm a 90s baby. And so that's what I'm
Likewise.
trying to explain. What are you? And which decade do you think? And again, I'm not being biased. Like if I pick the 90s, I'm not saying it just because that's my era or, like that's when I'm a 90s baby. No, it would be because the 90s was the shit. And in my book, I don't think anything tops it. Um, Honestly, like the 90s or the 2000s can really go for it because from 96, from 95 to '05, everything was the shit, in my opinion. I mean, from television, sitcoms, movies, music, sports, every wrestling, everything was at the top of his game in the 90s, and especially from 95 to about '05, in my opinion. Now, that's just me. What do you say? And I would love for you all to debate that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'm going to do Canelo Crawford. I'll explain to everyone why I think Crawford is going to win this match. I don't give a damn how many weight classes he's moved up. When you're better, when you're a better fighter, you're just a better fighter. And Canelo is not the better fighter today. He doesn't look like the same Canelo. And even the Canelo in his prime, to me, wasn't that good. I've always thought he was kind of overrated. I'm surprised he's taking this fight. I'm gonna talk about that fight more tomorrow. That's pretty much it. Same bat time, same bat channel. Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. Be there or be square. I'm here to give you the hottest updates in sports and everything else. Terrence, we didn't talk wrestling over the weekend. In my opinion, it really wasn't a lot to talk about. I really
It
have been
was
happy
not.
with SmackDown Saturday night's main event. It ain't really been a lot. But T, if you want to come back tonight and recap Raw, we can definitely do it and get that back going. I just hadn't been liking the numbers when we come out and do the wrestling episodes here. I thought we would have a lot more people, but they're not that interested on YouTube, that is, when it comes down to our wrestling shows. If you are, let us know in the comments. If not, don't be saying, hey man, where was y'all at Monday night? Motherfucker, I asked you if you wanted us to talk about this shit on Monday night. Damn it. Do you want us to or not? If not, I ain't gonna waste my time. That's just it. But again, I get like this, T, when it starts to get bad. I don't want to waste my time. 2 and 3 hours. I got a lot going on. 3 hours is valuable to me, T. 3 hours is valuable to you. You get a lot
Yeah,
done in 3 hours than most men. Okay? You got like
yeah,
10 different things that you do. You're a jack of all
yeah,
trades, and I kind of am too. So we ain't
yeah.
got 3 hours to waste. I don't want to be talking about a show that is trash. So that's all. I get a little cranky when it gets this bad again. Do you got any thoughts or comments about wrestling before we close?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it for me. Um, I'm just not feeling it right now. Like I still watch it because I love wrestling, but
Yeah,
even the whole Seth Rollins storyline is still just not like I was glad to see Bronson Reed back, and we ain't got to get too much into it, but overall, I'm just not impressed by any of it.
right. Yeah, me either, man. And it doesn't make any damn sense. Just doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me any reason for Bronson Reed being a part of Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker's crew where it makes any sense at all. The last time I saw him, ain't he's the one that whooped Seth Rollins' ass and put him out for a while? What the hell are you here for with him? There ain't nothing they can say that can make that make sense. Nothing they can say that makes sense on why John Cena went to interfere in Jey Uso's title match, just because Cody coming back. None of it makes sense. They just put a bunch of shit together to get ready for what they're about to do with Money in the Bank with the tag team match and all of that. But yeah, this stuff is terrible. Y'all can't keep blaming The Rock for this terrible booking. How much longer are you going to blame The Rock? All right. He's not there. He's not calling any shots with any of this. At some point, you're gonna have to come back to Triple H. This is not that good. John Cena's heel turn has been a huge disappointment. And so I just wanted to say that. But we'll still talk about it if you want us to. It's just, we need to see the people that want us here discussing it. I can my patience can get thin when it gets this bad. I just go away. That's one thing about me. I ain't gonna keep watching because I'm a wrestling fan. Like you said, Terrence. No, I'm not that big of a wrestling fan. I will leave again. It's nothing. It's nothing. But I'm hearing that it's just as bad. It's starting to get back to where it was in like 2017, 2018. I'm hearing stuff like that on the internet. And if I'm not mistaken, those were pretty bad years for the WWE. So this is where they think it's headed. And it's kind of been going downhill slowly since WrestleMania 40. I've been saying that. It really has.
Um, I mean, plain and simple, they're probably going to have to bring the tribal chief back to save it. And I don't mean just I don't mean just bring Roman Reigns back. I mean like legitimately the tribal chief, uh, full powers, full bloodline. Because this shit Seth Rollins is doing, it's very reminiscent of when he was the architect right before he was Seth freaking Rollins, and I hated that shit. I absolutely when he was out there with Buddy Murphy and I forgot who else he was with. I hated that shit. It was so bland and so boring to me.
Yeah.
To me, Seth Rollins' best character was when he was with the Authority. Loved him then. Outside of that, Jarvis, I mean, as far as his in ring ability is amazing, but his character development, this weird ass laugh he does, and the dressing like a woman. I don't.
Yeah, I hate it too. I don't like it either. But
I don't. I don't. I just. It doesn't do it for me. And as the lead character of a show, it does not do it for me.
Terrence, I think they got backed into a corner, booked into a corner is what I should say. I don't think this was the plan 6
Right.
months ago, 3 months ago. I don't think it was. I think it was we fucked up, or we didn't know The Rock wasn't gonna be here, or this or that. So let's do this and let Seth be the one, and he'll win the triple threat. I don't think any of this was pre-planned, predetermined. I think it's just kind of you can tell what's going on, the way it's
Well,
going.
I think it seems like they had it planned for Seth to win. They just didn't know what the hell they wanted to do after that, and then they just kind of trying to piece this thing together as they go. But even that, the damn Cena heel turn is terrible. Um, the heel turn itself was great. Like it was great TV. Everything after this has been shit. And
Everything.
even the way they brought Cody back Saturday, what the fuck was that?
Your guess as good as mine, man. Oh, I got
I
one more
mean,
thing.
it was so anticlimactic, and they just got to do better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, they got to do better. But T, like I said, if you want to come back and do the Raw post show tonight, we can definitely do it. To see how they explain themselves on Bronson Reed being there. They've got more muscle, of course. I don't have a problem with him being there. It's just why the way he did Seth, it doesn't make any sense. Last thing I'm gonna leave with before we get out of here is teams do believe, this is the word around the NFL, teams do believe that Aaron Rodgers is waiting out the Vikings. Now, the Vikings have came out and said they are moving on with what's his name? Oh
The
God,
young guy.
JJ McCarthy. But there's a better fit for Aaron, in Minnesota, he thinks. Some people also think that the Steelers are going to be the team that he signed with and he's going to be there. But why is he stalling? He was just seen over the weekend in some softball game or something. He was talking with a microphone in his hand. Why? I don't know. And he got to talking about Chicago and why he wouldn't play in New Orleans or why he wouldn't play with the Bears. And he said something about he may play at Chicago at the Bears this year. Somebody's playing at the Bears or something. He gave a hit. The Steelers are playing at Chicago at some point this year, but the Vikings play at the Bears too every year. So there's no guarantees talking about the Steelers. I know you don't like talking about AR that much, so we finna leave. We finna stop. But I just want to ask you two questions, I guess. One, is Aaron Rodgers gonna be a Steeler, or is he still waiting on somebody else? Why hasn't he signed yet? And two, I never really asked you about Brock Purdy. I don't think extending his contract with the 49ers, and he got 53 per. He got everything he could have asked for, except for the 65 million that I heard that he actually asked for, which is crazy. That makes me feel good now if he really asked for that.
Right.
But again, do you think the Niners made the right decision, the right investment, or was that a huge mistake to give him anywhere
Yeah.
in the 50s like he got? Those two questions, if you could answer those, we'll wrap it up.
Uh, he'll be in Pittsburgh. He's just trying to dodge all the voluntary mini camps and all of that old good shit. When it comes time for training camp, he'll be a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's all I got for Aaron Rodgers. He ain't going to Minnesota. He just trying to dodge all the workouts, whatever. I guess he's earned that right to. 25 years in the league or so, whatever. How many ever years it is, he's earned the right to miss a couple of workouts. As far as Purdy, looks like they made the right decision. I mean, they were able to save enough money to extend Fred Warner as well, um, which I think was a big thing to be able to get Fred Warner paid. So as
Yeah.
long as they were able to get both of those guys on the
And
contract,
Kittle.
you really can't go wrong with it. 65 million and Fred Warner would have been a Dallas Cowboy or something, man. Like we so,
For
you
real.
didn't want those problems, man. You don't want Fred Warner walking out your door.
Right.
So to be able to get both of those guys paid, that's a win. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Bub 24 said, "Yo, what's up, bro? It's been a minute for me." Okay. Hey, how you doing, man? Well, next time, don't let it take so long, Bub. Great to have you back. Hope you come back and you stay. If you've hit that subscribe button, then you should be seeing me a lot more, seeing us a lot more here. Maybe you haven't. If you have, then that notification bell is what you need to be hitting. Give us a thumbs up too while you're here. We've had quite a few people come in and out. We've only got 2 thumbs ups, 2 likes. Come on, y'all. Help us out. It really does help us out here with the algorithm. People can't find us until we can get more likes and more comments here on this channel. That's all I got, though. We talked about a lot and we covered a lot. And if anybody cares, um, Cam Ward, they're saying that he really is beginning to look like the number one quarterback, number one pick in the draft that he was. I know a lot of people had their doubts about that. Why wasn't he highly recruited? He was a 0-star recruit and all that shit. But people seem to think from what they're seeing on the outside, looking in and inside, hey, Cam Ward is going to be everything that we think he is as a number one quarterback. Um, we'll talk more about other offseason additions, the Patriots and Mike Vrabel, Geno Smith with the Vegas Raiders, and why he's number 10 as far as PFF has him ranked with quarterbacks. And Ben Johnson, that's also something that we'll talk about later in the week. How good of a coach will he be? We want the Bears to be good so bad. People want Caleb Williams to be, improved his second year, and they think that he will if the offensive line is better. But again, I try to remind people, the Chicago Bears are not the Detroit Lions. I don't care what you say or what you try to make it look like. They're not them. Panay Sewell is not blocking for Caleb Williams. He's in Detroit blocking for Goff. I know he got some people on that line, and I don't know how good they are. But Ben Johnson was a great OC in Detroit. Will he be a great coach? We don't know that yet. And I think some people are kind of getting carried away. I'm not saying he won't be a good coach, but how many times have we seen great offensive coordinators go be a head coach and they be a great offensive coordinator again in a few years because they were terrible at the head coaching position? Like shit, Josh McDaniels. How many times did he get a try at it? Failed every time. Failed every time. Great OC, but sometimes it's just what some of these people are. A lot of people have been praising the Bears and their off season. I'm not saying that they deserve any flack. I'm just saying that let's let the man coach first. Kyle Shanahan has been to 2 Super Bowls as a head coach. To this day, I still don't think he's a good head coach. I don't think he's a damn good offensive play caller, but he is an offensive play caller who turned to a head coach. But until he puts that iPad down, when there's times when he should be making great coaching decisions, but he's in the iPad looking for the next play to call. Until some of those people can get that out of their system, they will not be great head coaches. We'll see which one Ben Johnson is. I'm going to talk about all of that. But I'm done. That's all I've got. And some breaking news I'm looking at right now. And it is Caitlin Clark, who has a left quad injury. Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever has a left quad injury, and she will be missing at least 2 weeks. If anybody cares about that. We talked about Caitlin Clark last week. I talked about her and Angel Reese and the drama that they had when they opened up the season. And I said some things. I lost some people. I lost a few subs. People got upset. All because I said, y'all being too hard on Angel Reese. That's all the fuck I said. And they didn't even want me to say that. I'm glad they left because they told me everything about them. I love Caitlin Clark, and she's a phenomenal player. She has definitely changed the game. All I said was Angel Reese didn't deserve some of the hate that she got on social media. It was bad. I read some horrible things that she didn't deserve. Now, I ain't going to lie. When I listen to Angel Reese talk sometimes, she may not be the very best woman to get along with. Maybe she doesn't do press conferences as good. When I watch Caitlin Clark, she seems adorable. What is there to hate about her? There's nothing to hate about. She's very likable. Angel Reese not so likable in her interviews, but still, there's no reason to say the things that they said. And I was just trying to say, can we be a little bit nicer? People was like, what are you saying that for? Who's your manager? This and that. Where's it at? Has nothing to do with any of that. It's just that I just know how a lot of some of you people can seem to get very, very carried away when you get a player that looks like you that can ball out. And I know it's very rare that we get players that look like you that ball out and you just kind of you get carried away. She's great. She's great. She's phenomenal. But to just praise her like she's the next great white hype and just shit on that black lady, I didn't like it. And I had to say something. Angel Reese is not the dominant player or the best player in the league. She's not. She also plays on a terrible team. That's all I said. Chicago Sky is terrible. They're trash. From what I saw, they're trash. If Angel Reese can get that 3-point shot down consistently, though, she could be trouble. Caitlin Clark is phenomenal, though. She is, and she's changed the game. But I don't want white people to keep telling me that nobody watched WNBA until now. I still don't watch it now, white people. Okay? I still don't watch it. That's all I'm saying. I still don't watch it. She's great, but I don't watch WNBA like that. I just don't. I watch tennis. I love Serena. I love a lot of women tennis players, but I don't watch women basketball. It just ain't that. entertaining to me. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. Even with Caitlin Clark shooting from the logo, that's cool. But yeah. So I just wanted to say that. But she's a phenomenal player and she's turned the game around. And but she's out right now for the next 2 weeks. So I wonder how people feel about that. I wonder what's gonna happen with the Fever. Can they win games without her? That's what I can't wait to see, because they are pretty damn good when she's on the floor. So we'll see about that. Caitlin Clark has a left quad injury. She will miss at least 2 weeks with that strain. A lot of quad and hamstring injuries been going on here in basketball this past couple of weeks. No, that was hamstrings with Steph and Aaron Gordon. This is her quad, so it's a little different, but not that much different. But anyway, that's the take, and that's all I got. To be honest with you, Bub was talking about OKC leading the series 2-1, bro. I'm happy that Shy got MVP. That's different because if you scroll up Bub 24, you'll see some people say they hate him. They don't like the way he plays, and they don't think it's good for the game. So we finally got somebody to give him his props. Cool. It's a lot. That's what we getting to. A lot of people with some mixed, feelings about SGA and
Right.
the way he
Yeah.
plays. But when you get done, he may be hoisting that damn Larry O'Brien trophy, uh, being the NBA champions when it's all said and done. Now, Terrence, you got anything else, man? Before I wrap it up.
Hey, that's it on my end, man. Just excited to see the game tonight, and we'll see what wrestling has to offer. But more
Yeah,
excited about Game 4 than I am the wrestling.
I feel you on that. I am too. We'll see what happens tonight on Raw. Will Punk make an appearance after Saturday night's main event? What'll happen with him and Sami Zayn? Terrence, it looks like he was right about Sami Zayn. We thought that he could possibly go heel, but Terrence always kind of, corrects me when it's like, you know what? This is where I kind of get unhinged. I say the things that I think would be great, but to them, when they sell merch or they're the baby face and they're over as it gets, there's some people that are just not going to turn heel. And Sami Zayn, they're not ready to do that right now. It doesn't look like it. I thought that Punk was side eyeing him for a reason, but nah. With Bronson Reed being that third guy now with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, then yeah, I could see Sami Zayn continuing to get his ass kicked and try to play hero, helping Punk or Jey Uso or whatever. So we'll see how that goes tonight on Raw. And we may be back for the post show to talk about it. Let's see how it goes. And but this is a terrible time right now for wrestling. I'm sorry. At one point, it seems like it was just yesterday we were saying this is a great time to be watching wrestling again, people. That time is already gone. I'm telling you that right now. Wrestling it isn't the thing right now. It's really starting to get back to some bad TV on both and all promotions, to be honest with you. But anyway, I heard TNA is all right and NXT is even better than SmackDown and Raw. I said it is. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna get it out of here, and I'll be back tomorrow, same time, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And until we yeet again, y'all please be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, and peace out.
Peace out, y'all.